bans. Rather than allow a female student bring her girlfriend, a Mississippi school canceled prom altogether.
Yeah, it's very interesting how proms kind of have always been this battleground for social issues. And that legacy really remains kind of unchanged today, even in 2018. Just last month here in Atlanta, two students, Joel Lerner and Carter Herbert, the high school band conductor and the high school class president, were both nominated by the students of their school at Chattahoochee High to be prom kings. But they were told by school administrators that two guys could not be two prom kings as a couple. And I think the students there tried to rally to change the rule, and the school, kind of to their credit, they said, give us a proposal of changing this rule and we'll look into changing it. But honestly, like, how hard is it? Also,
Yeah.
Yes, like, I get what they're going for. Like, make the kids show some gumption and write a proposal and maybe we'll change it. But also, just change the f***ing rule. I mean, who gives a shit, right? Like, it would mean a lot to the kids. These things are arbitrary anyway. What do these administrators care at a certain point?
Yeah, and also, like, wouldn't the proposal just be change the rule?
Change it. It's like, oh, okay.
Two kings. Cool. Like, I don't understand what they were supposed to, or I don't know.
Yeah, and in Buffalo, student Bishop Elliott says that McKinley High School has a history of policies that exclude LGBTQ students, including the principal's alleged denial of him and a fellow student's request for a gay-straight alliance. Just a week before prom, he sued the principal for allegedly policing same-sex couples at school dances. In a federal lawsuit, the 18-year-old school junior says students buying couples tickets for dances are asked for the name of their dates. Those naming same-sex partners are not permitted to purchase the couples passes, he claims. The New York Civil Liberties Union filed a complaint against the school's principal, Crystal Bowling Barton, and the Buffalo School District is also a defendant. So really, you would think that these issues are things of the past, but they're kind of not. I mean, prom continues to be this battleground where social issues sort of explode. And furthermore, you were talking earlier about racial segregation in proms. Again, that might sound like something that is a thing totally of the past, but not so. In fact, Wilcox County High School here in Georgia didn't have its first racially integrated prom until 2014, only 4 years ago. Instead of one big prom for everybody, parents and their children would organize private off-site racially segregated parties known to most as, quote, white prom and black prom. Now, after students planned their own integrated dance, school leaders said that they would sponsor the school's first integrated prom for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something that would be happening years and years and years ago, but that's not even that long ago. And Georgia isn't even the only state where this is going down. What is that experience like for mixed race kids or for Latino kids or for Indian kids? Like, it's such a binary that it leaves out so many. So I'm just thinking about all the kids who are left out, kids in interracial relationships, kids who aren't black or white. It just is such a, or I wonder if it's non-white prom and white prom. I don't know. It just seems such a weird binary. Like, how would you enforce it? I have so many questions.
I do too. And what a weird, just what a strange experience to know, like in high school, that you're going to have these two separate proms. To me, that, like, my brain cannot process that.
It's a lot. So I do actually have a few sweet stories. I know we have a long way to go, but there are some, not awful prom.
Beacons of hope.
Beacons of prom hope, prope, if you will. This year, two male students were taking their prom pictures as a group of rowdy patrons at a rooftop bar were nearby. Now, the patrons kept shouting at all the couples who were walking by, clearly going to prom, like, kiss, kiss, kiss. So when they walked by, the couple had a moment of, oh my God, what's going to happen? The rowdy bar patrons screamed at them, kiss, kiss, kiss. And they thought, oh God, if we kiss, it's a trick. If we kiss, what's going to happen? And they kissed. And the kid said the crowd went wild. The kid said, when me and Colin walked by, they chanted, kiss him over and over again. We were a little hesitant about it because we were nervous, obviously to see if something bad would happen to us. Then we kissed and they all went crazy. Everyone went wild and was cheering, happy, so proud of us. They kept being like, do it again. And it felt so good. I don't even know how it felt. I just never felt like that. And that is super sweet.
Yeah.
It's nice. I mean, I'm happy that these young people felt supported. I think I'll be even happier when two guys going to prom together and kissing each other as dates. It's it's not, a big deal. I'm happy.
Right.
I'm really, on the one hand, I'm thrilled that these kids had a moment that affirmed that they were supported by their community because, man, that feels good. But
Yeah.
I'll be even happier when it's just accepted that, your love is valid and that you don't need to hide it, and that you, in a kind of way, it makes me sad that this is a viral moment because in my dream of dreams, two, a same-sex couple going to prom together would not be viral news. It would just be commonplace because it should be.
Yeah, pretty much like you said, it makes me really happy and also really sad because you shouldn't have that worry. You should just be able to be happy with the person you're with, and that's your business. And I'm happy for you if you're happy. Like, it feels weird because you don't want to make someone feel othered by being overtly like really happy for them, but you want them to feel the same thing that heteronormative couples
Exactly.
take for granted.
It's a lot of what we were talking about in our episode on disability.
Yeah, I was thinking
where,
that too.
When you have a viral feel-good promposal where it's a person with disabilities being asked to prom. By the way, a very, very helpful listener wrote in to tell me that in that episode, I said disabled people, and you really should say people with disabilities. And
Okay.
I got that wrong. So when you have someone who is a person with disabilities who's being asked to prom, and that becomes a heartwarming viral moment, on the one hand, we get it, people want to feel good, but actually what you're saying is that this person being asked to prom, they're not being asked because they're a rad person who should be asked to prom because they fucking rock. Someone is doing a charity, and that, oh, good for them. That's so brave. And I want to live in a world where everyone feels desired and supported and affirmed, and we're not otherizing people when they, when someone asks them to prom or when these kind of things happen. And so on the one hand, I'm happy that these kids had a sweet moment. But on the other hand, I want to live in a world where that moment is commonplace. And of course it will be affirmed. Like, why wouldn't it be affirmed? It's not news that it was affirmed.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Another sort of, I think, marker of progress on the prom front, in May 2010, Corey Ray became the first trans prom queen. She writes on her website, "For fun, I decided that I would attempt to fulfill my dream of being prom queen. I made my Facebook name Corey Prom Queen Wagner, and soon enough, I was nominated. At prom, I was nervous. I had an underlying feeling that my dream would come true. And then my world changed forever. Our class president said, and our junior prom queen is Corey Wagner. The whole room went wild, screaming and applauding for me. I had never felt more loved by my peers in my entire life. The night was perfect. I couldn't have been more proud of myself and my high school for being so accepting and open-minded. And honestly, shout out to Corey. You need to go to Corey's website and check out the picture of her winning prom queen because sis is beaming. Like, she looks so happy. And I was like, oh my God, my heart is melting."
That's awesome. And this year, Nico Nelson won prom queen at Homestead High School in Wisconsin. And she wrote, "I didn't win prom queen for being a transgender girl. I won prom queen for being Nico Nelson."
Hell yeah, Nico.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. On the one hand, it is very important to acknowledge what is historic markers of progressivism, right? A trans girl winning prom queen in Wisconsin is fucking rad. But on the other hand, I love that Nico knows that she didn't win because she's trans. This isn't some charity act. She won because she's probably a really cool girl.
Yeah. Nico does sound really cool. We have another aspect of prom to touch on, and it's sex. But first, we have one last quick break for a word from our sponsor. These days, you can get practically everything on demand, like our podcast. Listen whenever you want,